Thank you, guys. Welcome. I think a lot of people so far, when they listen to the Peace Starts With Me podcast, are moved by the fact that God is alive and God is working in multiple ways through many times the most unbelievable circumstances to guide people toward a peaceful world. But we don't talk about it often enough, and we don't necessarily learn from one another as much as we might. Because so far, everyone I've spoken with has a very unique journey and a very unique way in which they felt peace and the way they approached it and how God spoke to them. And so it's a fascinating journey that we're on this. I'm really happy to be with you here in California. It's a beautiful day. This is also the first time we're shooting with a live studio audience. Thank you for all being here. And I'd like to bring you in here, Mr. Satpal. You are the ambassador of the Sikh Dharma and chief religious and spiritual authority of the Sikh religion in the Western Hemisphere. Also the chairman of Guru Ramdas Sikh Mission in America and overseer of the Miri Piri Academy, which I believe is a youth program. Is it geared towards
Miri Piri Academy is actually a boarding school in India.
Okay.
And we established that about 25 years ago. And children of Western Sikhs that adopted our religion here. And these are all Westerners, just like you and other, Western. So they adopted our religion, the Sikh religion. And this organization, Sikh Dharma, that I'm affiliated with, is over 55 years old now. So their children go to that Miri Piri Academy. It's in Amritsar, Punjab, which is where our sacred Gurdwara, the Sikh temple, is Golden Temple. So that's what Miri Piri is.
So you're the overseer of that. And essentially you're dedicated to spreading the teachings.
Correct. So I was born in a Sikh family, in a Sikh household in India. And I was born in South India, but I was raised in New Delhi, which is the capital. So I went to a Catholic school, actually, and a Catholic college, St. Stephen's College, where I was one of the only 2 Sikhs there. And I did my graduation in science, Bachelor of Science. So basically, I was not much involved with the Sikh religious teachings, if you will. I was a college student. And although my family was. So one of my mentors was my grandmother, who used to take me to the Sikh temples nearby in Delhi. And that's most of my Sikh, the inspiration. And I remained a Sikh when I came here. So that was my upbringing. I was basically, like they say, a city slicker, had nothing to do with religion.
You were a young college city slicker in New Delhi,
yes,
at a Catholic school.
Correct.
But your grandmother...
Yeah.
Your grandmother would take you to temple.
She was a big influence on me. And by the way, when I was in the college, it's still there. It's a 160-year-old institution called St. Stephen's College. And every morning we had to go for assembly. So I got very well versed with Christianity because every morning, half an hour assembly. If we don't go, then they expel you. So anyway, my grandmother was a big influence. And I was 21 years old when I came to this country. And I was actually, my background was science, bachelor's in science degree I had. And my father was in the automobile tire business, tires. So he was,
New Delhi?
In New Delhi, okay. In New Delhi. But he used to deal with, foreign companies like BF Goodrich, Goodyear, Firestone, all the tire manufacturers. So he told me, son, I'm going to send you to America and you are going to become a rubber technologist and you're going to do your master's in rubber technology. So he got me a job secured with BF Goodrich in Akron, Ohio. And I still remember the name of the CEO, Eve Thompson. And I had a letter of appointment as a MT, management trainee, with $1,000 a month. This was back in 1978.
Not bad.
And so I said, okay, I'm going to be a rubber technologist. But in between, then I got married to my future wife, who was the daughter of one of the tallest, one of the biggest religious leaders, Yogi Bhajan. And he was in New Mexico. And my parents and, her parents, my future wife's parents, were talking about getting us married.
Yes.
So my dad told me to go to New Mexico. And he didn't tell me that he's talking about my marriage. And I met Yogi Bhajan, my future father-in-law, and I got really inspired with him because he brought the message of not only yoga, peace, but he also brought the message of Sikh religion to the Western Hemisphere. And he was the chief religious authority at that time, appointed by the supreme leader of the Sikhs in India. So anyway, long story short, I got married to my future wife. And then my father-in-law, Yogi Bhajan, asked me, okay, son, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? So I told him, well, I have a letter from Goodrich, BF Goodrich. I'm going to go to Akron, Ohio, and I'll become a rubber technologist. And he didn't say anything. He was really like, like how you can foresee future. He was very enlightened person, He was a really enlightened person. So, and he could also read auras, and he could think. I mean, he was real
Very
tall.
sensitive.
Yeah. So he said, okay. I told him I'm going to be a rubber technologist. I have this job, and he said, okay, but I don't see that in your future, but whatever you want to do. So he did not stop me. I put my wife in the car. He gifted us a brand new Volvo, I remember. And he said, okay, you want to go? So from New Mexico, we drove to Akron, Ohio, and I stayed there for 6 months. And I started going to the factories there. In between, my father-in-law would call, son, are you happy? Are you doing? And he figured out I was not happy and that's not my future. I said, no, Dad, I'm really not. And I don't think I want to be a rubber technologist, you know. So he said, okay, put your stuff in the car and you and your wife just meet me in Los Angeles. So we drove, and this was in early 79. And he said, what do you want to do now? I said, you tell me. I've been in business. My father has been in business. I was not in business, but my father was. And whatever. So he put me in touch with some of his members, and I worked with him, under him. And, it was a very enlightening and a very successful, I would say, business venture. My father-in-law started Yogi Tea, which is very,
delicious. Yes, we all
very
know Yogi
famous.
Tea. Yeah.
He started a number of companies, so I worked with him, under him, and we made this whole organization. And then he also told me that, son, you got to, spread the message of peace and the message of our religion, because I felt, and that's where my religious aspect comes in, so from business. And then all my life I did business, by the way, but I accompanied my father-in-law whenever he would go, and he would visit heads of state. He would travel around the world.
Yeah.
And he took me with him, and I was 27 years I traveled with him. I learned from him. I learned business. I learned about religion. And then 2004, he passed away. And then the high priests of our religion told me to continue his legacy and his mission, and they appointed me as ambassador of the Sikh religion in the Western Hemisphere.
It's amazing.
And they also gave me the title of the chief religious. There's only one. It was my father-in-law, and currently I am.
It's been passed
on to me. So my job is, I feel my job is that I should share what I learned from my father-in-law, yoga, meditation, peace. And by the way, peace starts with me. This deeply resonates with me because in our religion, and personally, I feel that it's the inner peace that we have to develop. Because whatever our religion, our scriptures have a lot of sayings on this inner peace.
Yes.
Because and there's a very popular saying from the scripture that Jo Brahmande Soi Pinde, whatever is out there in the Brahman, in the universe,
Yes.
is also within you.
Right.
Jo Khoje So Pave, the one who looks inside finds happiness. So it's not the material things, it's not the iPhones and the cars and the mansions that's not gonna bring peace. We know in the world a lot of billionaires, they may have billions of dollars. I know, Paul Rubio works with a lot of billionaires, but are they happy and are they peaceful inside?
Only
Yes
the ones
or
that
no?
have private jets.
There you go. So I took it as my mission. So I go. Currently, what I do is
just first, what's interesting about that point is your father was really grooming you for a role in business,
correct.
but that your sort of entry point to finding out more about your faith through your father-in-law was also a very sound and grounded business and
Correct.
successful business sense. Did you feel that bridge helped you?
It helped me immensely because my father was a very successful businessman. So in India, when I was growing up, I was blessed and I was fortunate to not only have a silver spoon, but I have a golden spoon, So like I said,
one of each?
maybe one of each. I was, like I said, one of the 2 Sikhs that were privileged to attend this college.
Right.
Over 150,000 students apply and only 4,000 get accepted.
Right.
So I was very privileged. And then I met my father-in-law, who was not only a religious leader, he was also an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
He created several multi-billion-dollar companies.
So for your father, who had been grooming you for business, was that also helpful for him?
Very big asset, because my father, I was the oldest. I was the oldest son. I have 2 younger brothers and 2 sisters. So my father did take me to all his business meetings that I remember when I was in India. I met all the important business leaders in India. So he groomed me, whatever I learned in business from him. And then I was blessed and fortunate to meet my father-in-law, who was another business person, right, and a religious leader. So we worked very hard. We worked in developing these companies. My father-in-law came to this country with just $35. That's all that was allowed to go out of India. When you go out of India, the foreign exchange they give you, many years ago, it was only $8. And then they increased. The government of India said anybody going to America or foreign land can take $35 in foreign exchange.
So how would you describe then, by the time your father-in-law...
He left a $5 billion
amazing
empire. So
how do you go from $35 to, what did you say, 5 billion?
Yeah, the Sikh Dharma today, probably, if I put a value to it, with all the centers, the businesses, the trademarks, that we run an institute called Kundalini Research Institute, where we teach.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Where we teach Kundalini Yoga to Western. We have over 50,000 teachers that we have an institute that gives a certificate. I'm also a certified Kundalini Yoga teacher.
So we can do a session now?
Well, that would be more than 5 minutes. Yeah. So I go.
Please certify me.
I also go and teach Kundalini Yoga, meditation, and because the principle behind it is what your mission is. Peace is within me. Peace is all within us, and that's what I try to share, teach, and even at the interfaith meetings, each one of us is, in this world we live in. 2/3 of the conflicts are due to what? Religious reasons. My God is better than yours. My religion is better than yours. But we forget that all creation emanates from that one creator. Mm-hmm. We may call God by different names, but after all, we are all one human family. Yeah. And, I feel, and our Sikh scriptures teach that also, that the goal of the religion is not to send the person to heaven. Rather, create heaven in each one of us while we are on planet Earth.
Beautiful.
So that's what I like to say.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah. Everybody wants to applaud it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So Ehsan, so you're an artist and you're wearing your artwork right now, correct?
Yes. I create art to inspire global peace and give to charities. It all started from childhood. I was about 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Sweden. I don't look Swedish. Iranian parents. Mom and dad said, Ehsan, little 5 years old, let's go to Iran. Let's go visit grandpa. We go there. Everything's just amazing. And one of those nights, I wake up around midnight and we go on top of the rooftop. And with the Iraqi plane are bombing the city.
Wow.
That traumatic experience led this whole journey of this little Ehsan, asking deeper questions. What was that? Why? And the human history is filled with it.
Yeah.
And it's happening right now. It was just too much to comprehend. And I said, forget about the why. I mean, we all can get deep into it and get lost in the rabbit hole. I mean, we all know why in our own way and philosophies. Is there a how? Is there a way that humanity, for the first time, as my consciousness shows, can manifest global peace? Is that possible? And how can we get there? I was around 22. Around teenager, I noticed the only thing I'm good at is art. The only thing I had A+. Anything else, don't ask. And I remember, why don't I paint that message? And I was really passionate about religion and philosophies. I was always passionate about spirituality. That's something since childhood. And I had internal experiences. I had too much evidence that I couldn't deny it, that there is a higher self, there is the God of understanding, or whatever you want to call it. There is this omnipresence that's running the show. And when I saw that around myself, I said, how can we get there? And when we tune in our hearts, we already know oneness. We are one human family. We all step in this planet Earth with a heartbeat, every one of us, from the Pope to Saddam Hussein, whatever you want to call it, label him. We all step in this planet Earth with a heartbeat. And that is the common ground. That you just don't, no matter where I come from, what religion, what ethnicity, what country, what status, no matter what, we all one human family. You just don't stick a knife to your brothers and sisters. You just don't do that.
So when you were 5 and you see the planes coming over and shooting,
that's where everything started.
And your grandfather or your parents, did they try to explain to you what was going on? Did they raise you to think this way, or do you remember from your earliest years?
I remember my mom used to want to go see their parents, and she was like in her mid-20s.
Right.
And I went there and I had some of those experiences.
Right.
And then that kind of led me through this whole journey of going back to Sweden again, experiencing racism. Like I was a black sheep over there.
Okay, you stood out in Sweden.
Yeah, definitely. And as a foreigner, and I experienced racism. And I said, wow. But me and him, we're just same, we were same. And I remember there was these posters, and there was this black, there was white, there was a brown, all different skin color, but all had heart. These little cues that universe just bring it to you. And then there was this book, it was called about peace. And I started reading it, and he was my Sufi master. He became my Sufi master.
Okay.
And then I was really attracted to Sufism while I was studying all different religions. And that kind of led me my entire 20s. And from there, I just knew, why don't I paint something? Because I love doing painting. Do it for the highest good of all that can benefit everybody. With these little thoughts, I knew I'm going to create a very large peace painting. It's going to be the biggest out there been created. And I knew I'm going to make 2,000 paintings, so like 42 by 42.
This is something you're working on now, right? Or you finished?
I'm finished.
Yeah.
21 years taking me to finish it, yes.
So how many individual pieces of art?
2,000.
2,000.
Double-sided.
On each side you have a painting.
4,000.
So it's 4,000 images.
Yes.
And together it's part of a broader collage.
Yes. When you put all these 2,000 together, it turns to this
peace
painting.
Symbol, peace dove, peace symbol.
We see the ancient peace sign.
Yeah.
We see the contemporary peace sign with all the flags. It's a message of unity. When all abstract faces, all countries become one unit, 17-story tall, we see peace finally.
Where is the installation?
It has not been installed yet.
Okay.
About 100 of those paintings in my gallery. People for the last 2 years come and seen it. We are looking for a space. It's a 7-acre land that we're looking for. And yesterday I was talking to somebody who said, God already know what that land is. He told me, he said, you just, the message, do nothing. Just surrender. I don't know. There are so many lands that come through. I can talk from the intelligence side of it. Even from intelligence side of it, if there were aliens, that's when I was a kid. I was like 20s, they're attacking planet Earth.
Yeah.
Would Ukraine and Russia or Palestine, would they unite right now, or would they destroy each other? Common sense, right?
Right.
That became so clear. So I just said, I'm going to paint that. And this has been a 20 years journey. We want to display this. It's going to be a huge statue. And we're going to build a center, Unity and Peace Center. Wasn't an overnight.
This is your life's work.
Yes. And we want to build a Unity and Peace Center, which is a multicultural museum of all representation of all countries and cultures and religions, interfaith program, meditations, all the way to international art, nonprofit organizations. I've already interviewed, I'm talked of hundreds of nonprofits, all the way to Red Cross America, to American Heart, to St. Jude, all the way to local ones. Even United Nations, I had to talk to them. I said, this is what I'm doing. All of them said, this is this is great. This could be a crescendo that we could use this, because there is a grassroots level happening.
Yes.
We look at the connection, the internet, and 90%, more than 99%. I think 99% I was one piece in unity, harmony. And when so much darkness happening, what I'm being reminded again, because there's a time for healing, there's light, there's opportunity for light to shine. And this is just a crescendo. People like you and I, and we need 8 billion drops to create that oceans of peace. So this
8 billion drops for the ocean of peace. Yeah, beautiful.
That's ultimately
I like that.
That's beautiful. I like that.
This episode of the Peace Starts With Me podcast is brought to you by our merch store. Check it out at peacestartswithme.com/collections. We have apparel and accessories for the whole family, including backpacks, pins, aprons, shirts, baby onesies and bibs, and more. Show your support and go to peacestartswithme.com/collections.
I know you're also interested in supporting youth, but when you see of the challenges that are facing the youth today, how does your artwork and your message of peace and unity?
And what I learned, do something what you love to do, and do it for the highest good of all. That's the secret sauce. When I was young, I remember I was, I was like around 18, 19, and started going to college. And the only thing I was good at was art. And I wanted to become an artist, but it's too risky. It's just so much fears comes. There's no career. There's no consistency. I remember that. And life is short anyway. What can I do? And I remember I used to work at a pharmacy. Was planning to become a pharmacist because there's security.
Stable income.
Becoming an architect. I went to civil engineering. I mean, I went to a lot of new entrepreneur businesses, network marketing, and I tried so many things.
Meanwhile, from a young age, you was dabbling in art.
Yeah, like around 17, 18.
Right.
We're talking about young adulthood.
Yeah.
And eventually I went to this counselor, and this counselor, I said, I want to learn everything. I'm thirsty. I want to know everything. I want to become a doctor. I want to become this. I want that. I just was like a sponge. And he said, like, son, imagine that you have 10 wives. Just kind of said, I said, like, out of those 10 wives, there's one of them that you like more than the rest of them. And that person, her name is Art.
Okay.
If you divorce the rest of them and just marry one of them, you're going to have a lot of success. And that's what everything eventually became so clear. And I was studying a lot of success book, like Think and Grow Rich, really made an impact on me. 7 Habits, highly effective people.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of new age, law of attraction, all of this stuff. And it kind of led me, it just became clear to me, like, why do I do something is for benefit everybody, not only myself. I can maintain myself, but also it's really talk about a solution for a problem. That's kind of what everything started leading me towards. I'm going to make a peace painting that talk about the solution of what we're going through, solution of peace. And that's how everything unfolded to me.
Right. I mean, because a lot of people will avoid marrying that particular passion of art because it's so competitive and so difficult to have some kind of security or stability. But how much do you think your purpose and your story and the sense of wanting to do it for a bigger purpose, to do it for others, how much of that aspect of your motivation do you think plays into your success?
99%.
Yeah.
Yes. It was just a calling. I just knew, and I remember, and I couldn't sleep. I just knew I'm here to make 2,000 paintings. And this is going to make a social impact, and it can potentially be one of those rivers that can lead us to the ocean of peace.
Right.
And that's how everything started. But I just knew I'm going to make 2,000 paintings. It's going to be a peace sign. And everything else evolved with it and just came through.
And you're meeting lots of people.
Oh, man, this is not an easy, this is absolute faith-based. conviction. And I know there's these forces that is so much powerful that we don't, like faith, creativity, take action, and expand. It's just going to come. Ideas going to come. The universe will start yielding to you. And that's what this has been. I always had a side job next to it. You know, my dad saw the conviction in me, and he said, "I'm going to fund you.
Right.
Why don't you just sit here?" And I started paint, and was my parents' garage, and I started filling up all the bedrooms and ceilings, and over 500 painting was filled the entire house. And so there was a lot of creativity just came through, and there's a documentary and so forth. But it is definitely, it has to be a divine mission. And one thing for youth people, something I always recommend is like something I learned from somewhere else. Imagine that it is your funeral.
Okay.
And imagine you thinking all the way to the end of the day of your funeral. What kind of people will be around you? What would they talk about you? How would they describe you? And when you can imagine that, then all those characters and everything will just unfold.
That's beautiful. Will there be anybody at your funeral?
Exactly.
And if so, how many and who? And what will they say about you?
Yes.
And so you're really...
Begin with the end in mind.
Right, begin with the end in mind, but you're also... I mean, all of your stories have something in common. It fits the idea of peace starts with me.
I really believe, yes, it is. I truly, it is start internal.
Yeah.
For some people, it's actually just action, external, just service.
Sure.
Like, there's a balance of both. And obviously what I have noticed is like people say your cup has to be full in order to give another, but there's something fascinating. Obviously it is internal. It is absolutely internal. But if you just start with a half of a cup and start serving other and give it, suddenly the cup is already full. There's something magic happens there.
So whatever challenge you face, whatever circumstance you face, how do you find peace can start with you?
Well, whatever feels peaceful intuitively is a teacher of God. That's what I know. Whatever feels painful, I know it's my ego. Whatever feels not peaceful, God is just nothing but love and peace. How can we get to peace? What you question, that's something I've been always, this is kind of for the last 20 years, I've been in this journey and honored, and I'm interacting with so many people, and I've seen that so many elder people, no, it's not possible. It's never going to happen. It's just part of our nature. I even have a Sufi master, like a spiritual person saying that. I've been in many podcasts, and I asked them, they say, of course it's possible. So I get so many different views, and those individuals that don't see it possible, no wonder there's no peace. You start with a belief. We start with it, what you think. If you don't even believing it, no wonder we don't see a peace.
Okay.
There is always a part of ourself that has that doubt. I mean, back in the early 2000s or 90s, nobody believed peace is possible. Now there's like a newer generation. There's a lot of spiritual people start really accepting global peace is part of our future manifestation that's going to happen. What I have also, learned, imagine that we live, let's just say 150 years ago, where there was actively slavery going on right now. And you go to talk to one of the slaves, say, hey, one of these days right here in America, they're going to be freedom. What do you think that slave would say?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Are you crazy? That's the stage we are right now.
Right.
This vision, I'm honored, humbled that was given to me. Imagine that we live in a time that global peace, everlasting peace is just part of our byproduct. Imagine that's going to happen. That's why it's 2000. That's why this millennium, we can start promoting it. Promotion is a key to accept the new concept. Right. Let's look at our big factors. We look at Hollywood, all these action movies, Marvel movies. What do we see? No wonder there's no promotion of peace. Right. Look at the media. You watch it for 5-10 minutes, you get heartburn. Look at the government. They are literally on a nuclear race. promotion. Nonprofit organization are actually those people that actually have boots on the ground.
Right.
I've talked anywhere from animal shelter all the way to humanitarian, human trafficking, all the way to organization like yourself that you actually are doing something about it. Those are the organizations are doing something about it.
Yeah.
And I really believe it starts with an image. Start actually seeing
to be
it,
able to see it, imagine it,
welcoming it, and promoting it. That's why I was guided. I'm humbled to be one of those individuals that, we can build this as a brand. Ehsan means benevolence, to inspire peace and give to charities. And not only we want to display this painting for the first time. There's a 7-acre land. I can only imagine what kind of global impact, how viral this goes. But also on top of it, we want to build that center. We call that Unity and Peace Center, which is going to have all of those activities. With one of the most important one is interfaith. I'm a big fan of interfaith programs, all the way to multicultural centers, all languages, all countries, all the way to a photo museum, all species, all animals, and a garden, and a global mall, and a nonprofit hub of all things that bring us together that we can nurture, start with doing internal activity and external activity. We cannot make people toward peace.
Right.
We cannot.
Right.
But we can inspire
them.
We can create within our own walls. This is the walls that we are doing right now.
Right.
Practice peace. That's how that vibration expands. And that's what we have. We individual could be one of those individuals that actually, like those in the history, we look at the Martin Luther King and Gandhis and so forth. They were the people that actually, passed the baton.
Yeah.
And that's what we can be part of it. And I truly believe, I know in this millennium, I hope in the next decade, maybe in the few decades, global peace is just going to be our byproduct. Similar to all other things that we're experiencing that it would have been impossible. And we could be those individuals to have the privilege to actually allow that happen. It is going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
I agree. I think this is a unique time in history. I see it. I believe it. So, yeah, you're speaking from an artist perspective as well, but you have to see it. Our Family Federation for World Peace mission statement is God's dream, one family. And I've had some youth seminars and activities and workshops recently with some young people. There was one young girl that stood up and she started crying when she was sharing her testimony. And she said, how is it possible that there's, and she was referring to our founders who have lived their entire lives, sacrificed their entire lives for peace, for world peace. And so many people throughout human history have sacrificed their lives for peace. And she was asking the question, how is it possible when you consider all that you can manifest if you have a vision for it, if you're dreaming it, and if you're driving toward it, how is it possible that still, peace on a macro scale and even on a micro scale is still so rare? I mean, non-existent. If the dream is clear, why couldn't it happen? And she reflected on it and she said, the problem is because we don't believe it. Same like you're saying. We don't see it. We don't believe it. It's not enough for just one or two people, however great they may be. If you look at every peace leader, they've not been looking for people to look at them for peace, but rather they've been trying to multiply that same realization, that same vision and dream. So we need a larger number of humanity to see the vision and dream the dream. And I do think that there's actually a lot more people that are close to it than we would know. And sometimes maybe we think, that's the work of the religious people or the faith leaders or the spiritualists. But the truth is, I think, we need 8 billion people resonating with that dream. Imagine how quickly things could change. So hats off to you for, believing in your dream and doing it for peace. I love your answer. And so while we're on the topic of how business can support peace work, I want to shift gears if we can and go to Mr. Paul Rubio for a moment. So Paul Rubio, you're managing partner of the Rubio Aviation Corp, serving elite global clients in the private jet industry with over 20 years of experience, which is why you'll notice a few minutes ago he was pitching if anyone in the room would like to buy a jet, I think you're in the right room. But you're also so interested in peace, right? You're the founder of the California Economic Club, aiding companies in job creation through strategic consultancy. But you're also trying to manifest a contribution to peace through your business activity. So how did it start for you, and what are you trying to achieve for peace?
At first, I'll tell you a little bit of background. I was born in El Salvador.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in like a big, beautiful farmland.
Yeah.
So we have like a lot of animals, horses, cows,
Right.
and we grow our own cornfields and watermelons and mangoes. And it was
Why
beautiful.
would you want to leave? That sounds
Exactly. Well, there was something called the Civil War that happened
Yeah.
when I was from 10 years old. There was a civil war that started in the country. And when I was 13 and a half, I got recruited to go into the army as a child soldier.
How old were you when you
13 and a half.
So you entered the army at 13?
I was forcefully taken into the military.
Wow.
So many of my friends did not make it. So I was there for 3 years. And when I finally was able to escape, my mother said, you got to leave this country because there was no peace in the country. So El Salvador, if you notice, people from El Salvador, they have a lot of pain. And so a lot of them that come to the U.S., they drink a lot.
I see.
Because they have a lot of anger because they don't know how to release it,
I
right?
see.
So that was a very bad situation in the 80s. Any of you want us to know more about it, there's a movie called El Salvador that an American filmmaker made, and it tells you a little glimpse of what it was. But it was created by Reagan. And so sort of my childhood was taken away, and I came to America when I was 17 years old. And my brother lived here, so I came with him. And I started making my way selling things door to door. So that was my first American.
You came to Los Angeles?
I came to California, a city called Chino, California. So since I didn't really have any resources, I started making my way selling things door to door. So that was my first move as an entrepreneur. And then different businesses, and then I sold my first company when I was 27. I first started working only in the Hispanic communities because I spoke only Spanish, right? So one of my jobs was to go sell insurance door to door. So that's when I really felt the first connection to humanity, that if you talk to your fellow man, like if you go to East LA, I can take you all the neighborhoods, and all the people, the ladies that live there, they all cook for me. So they cook different meals because I got to know them. I got to talk to them. So that was one of my first businesses, was insurance door-to-door salesman.
Wow.
So if you really want to get into business, you should do it door-to-door.
Right.
And guess what? There's other people that live there.
Right.
And if you engage in a conversation and you talk to them long enough, you go, we're all similar people. We're all connected. So once I started learning English, I took my first class as a pilot in Chino, California. So that was my connection to aviation. But
so you first learn how to fly the plane.
yes,
So you have a
also as a
pilot's-
hobby.
just as a hobby.
Right,
So, but you made some good money in the insurance business.
right. That was my first.
But that
real-
was still within just the Spanish-speaking sector.
at that time, exactly. And then I learned English through the process of selling insurance because you had to go and learn certain things to get certain licenses,
Right.
and therefore you're required to. Although now you can take it in Spanish, but at that time it was mostly English, so I had to use the dictionary and to be able to translate the Spanish into English and so on.
Yeah, what an amazing story. Amazing.
When I sold my first company, I went and did 5 years of theater. So I learned about people like Charlie Chaplin. And if you have ever seen the movie The Great Dictator,
Yes.
at the end of the film, he has a great speech. I've seen that speech maybe a couple hundred times.
It's your motivational.
It's one of them, for sure. And the other one of my other mentors through film is a gentleman named Frank Capra.
Okay.
He made a movie called It's a Wonderful Life. And he said as his speech when he was getting his Life Achievement Award at the American Film Institute, he says that my films are based on one principle. And that principle is the love of fellow man. And that is his main principle of all his movies. So when I look at people every single day, whoever we encounter, whether it's the person that's serving you at the gas station, whoever's serving you at 7-Eleven or wherever you go, if you do your best to make them smile, that is the beginning of world peace, I believe. That every day we can make an impact to make the world a better place.
Peace starts with my smile.
Yes.
That's
Peace
good.
starts with me. And so the other thing I wanted to say about the California Economic Club, we really are a group of visionaries.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea came really from God or the universe, that I was looking at how we created the atomic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
We invited the brightest brains in the world to create something that could destroy the whole planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking to myself, why don't I create a group that brings together the brightest minds on this planet, and through business, we can solve the world's problems. So that's what the vision is for California Economic Club.
So from 13 to sort of 16 and a half, 17,
Yeah.
you are a child soldier,
Yeah.
caught up in a civil
Yeah. In the Civil War.
conflict
Yeah.
in El Salvador.
Yes.
And you lost a lot of friends.
I lost a lot of friends. Yeah. Like the people that I used to play soccer with as a kid, they did not make it. So it was very sad. It was very upsetting. But you had to sort of find a way to keep going. And my mother was a very spiritual lady. She read the Bible. And when I was 6 years old, she gave me the book of King David. And she says, perhaps you remind me of King David. So I always carried the little book with me. But she was very spiritually strong. She believed in God. And everyone that she ever met, she would feed them and always talk to them about God. So I say today that whatever I'm going to do in life is to honor my mother. She passed away like 16 years ago. And I want to create a foundation in her name to honor her so the world will know her name.
Yeah.
So I work every day to be able to have the biggest success I can have to honor my mother.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What was your mother's name?
Dolores.
Dolores. Full name?
Elizabeth Dolores Rubio Reyes.
Elizabeth Dolores Rubio Reyes.
Yeah.
Oh, I think she deserves a round of applause. I mean, of course, also your grandmother. You know, these the roles that these the roles that women play, especially. I mean, to see. Was your brother also caught up in the war? Did he have to fight?
You know, I have 3 older brothers. They were like 10 years older, so they went to all university schools, and they came to America before me. But I was left with my 2 sisters and myself with my mother. So we got caught up in the middle of the war.
So what role do you think women play in seeking peace?
Well, I think women are much more powerful than us men, in my opinion. And I say that because my father would sort of hide away the pain through drinking. So if you notice, a lot of Hispanic people drink a lot, the men.
Right.
But my mother found her power through the Bible.
Through her faith.
Through faith. And she is the one that has me where I am today, wanting to make the world a better place. I always think of her. You know, she said to me when I was 6 years old, I brought you to the world to be a king. But not a king that overpowers people, but someone who serves.
A benevolent.
Yeah, someone who serves your fellow
king.
man. So I work every day to do my best to represent my mom.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So now you're successful and just in the few minutes we spent together, I can tell you're involved in a lot of things, but you're also writing a book.
I'm writing a book. It's about, I want to activate 10 million leaders around the world because I believe that leadership is lacking on the planet today. And I looked for leaderships that could be my mentors. And when I met them, I was very disappointed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you went
including spiritual leaders.
So you went to meet people.
I will meet them. I will find out about them because
you ask a lot
once
of
I
questions.
learned English, I started reading books.
Yeah.
And I will read biographies of the most successful people in history.
Yeah.
Because I was very curious about what made those people successful or what made them like Dr. Vincent Peale. He wrote a book of The Power of Positive Thinking. So I was curious. Through him, I learned about all their books and so on. So I was researching through reading books. Yeah. And through learning about them, I said, I've always been curious. So my book is about my research to this date. And I'm not finished. I keep researching. But I want to activate 10 million leaders around the world, especially young men and women. Because when I was looking for a leader, I wish that I met someone like me that's been through a lot of challenges. Not everything has been pretty nice. It's been a lot of challenges, especially being a minority, quote unquote minority in America. And through doing business, trying to raise capital,
Yes.
the discrimination that happens. It is not very pretty for a lot of minorities because we don't understand the system. This country is made of laws. And if we don't understand the laws or we don't understand finance, then we're going to have a lot of trouble if we want to launch and expand the business.
Right.
So that's what my book is about. It's based on my research on leaders. And then I also want to be able to activate those young men and women to become their own leaders.
So the book will be to serve those who can become
Their own leaders.
influencers and leaders. Right.
Because a lot of them, they already know it inside of their leaders.
Right. Right.
But they don't have some basic tools
Right.
to reminding every day that is you, the person in the mirror that's going to make the change in the world.
Do you have a name yet for the book?
So far is Unleash the Leader Within.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the working title.
Okay.
But I'm almost done.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll be looking forward to your book.
It will be something that I will be very proud of because it's been research of 20 years of my life.
Paul, you're facing a challenge. Okay, it could be you're in your workplace. It could be no matter the circumstance. How do you make peace start with you even in the face of challenge?
Well, I have reminders. Like Charlie Chaplin said, a day without a smile is a day wasted. And I also realized that I can force myself to smile and I start to feel better. So if we remind ourselves that we have it within ourselves, the power to whether it be upset or to smile, that's the beginning. Because when I think about when I have to sell a private jet, like $85 million private jet, I think about it because it's my vision.
Yeah.
And I says, why am I doing private jets? I said, I read a book called The Magic of Believing.
Yes.
And he says, if you want to be wealthy,
Yes.
go around where wealthy people are.
Yeah.
So then when I started my jet business, I says, if I want to sell private jets, I go around where really rich people are. So I study and I learn from them. So a lot of the billionaires that I met are very people that just took a vision and they brought it to life. And a lot of them went through a lot of challenges. So I also believe that if one person has done it, you can do it.
You can do it.
So I also believe that this message that peace starts with me, it could go a global movement that we can remind the 8 billion people in the world in all the languages. And now through artificial intelligence, it can be translated.
Sure.
I think it could be a great movement that we can all unite and work together and remind the world and each individual that if you can decide peace for yourself, no matter the challenge that you're going through, no matter the pain you have inside.
Yeah.
Because I believe that most people have pain inside. It comes from childhood trauma or unfulfilled goals that we haven't achieved yet. But if you know your power in yourself, anything is possible.
Thank you. So if you can see someone else do it, if you surround yourself with people that have traversed that terrain, you can learn and you can do it too.
You can do it.
You're a
Because
fighter.
If one man can do it, you can do it too.
Beautiful. Thank you.
This episode of the Peace Starts With Me podcast is brought to you by our merch store. Check it out at peacestartswithme.com/collections. We have apparel and accessories for the whole family, including backpacks, pins, aprons, shirts, baby onesies and bibs, and more. Show your support and go to peacestartswithme.com/collections.
We have also with us Mr. Nasser Zomorot Nasser, who is the director of Universal Peace Federation for Southern California and has a lot of friends who love peace. You have a lot of friends who love peace.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you have a lot of
them
good
here.
people. You also are from Iranian descent, but you were born in Iran.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to where you are today.
I'm originally from Iran. I born in a very religious family, Islam. And my father was very fanatic. He didn't give me breakfast if I don't pray. So, and fasting should be
What time you wake up?
5 o'clock for fasting and pray for 6 o'clock before sunrise.
So you pray until 6 or before sunrise?
Yeah, after that again, take some nap or breakfast. So anyway, I grew up in a very religious family and society. But I didn't really like that pray, 5 times a day. It was tough. So
Did
I
any of your friends like it? I mean, was that normal?
No, most of the people my age, they escape from that kind of prayer. It was really hard. Every day before sunrise, and then again noontime pray, and then nighttime, sunset, before sunset. So after sunset. So anyway, I grew up in a family of 7 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So I'm the third one. So I have 2 elder brothers that we had a lot of fight. And my father also was tough on me. So I challenged a lot in my family. And we were very poor, so I grew up in a very poor family. And so many challenges from childhood. But many times I went to riverside, mountainside, and I meditate and said, a man is created by God, and God really wants, peace among us. And why there is some evilness, some ugliness in our society, in the relationship between, even family. I just saw that, my family, me and my brothers, we are fighting, bloody fight.
You drew blood.
Yeah, they broke my teeth to
So you must have been driving your mom crazy.
My father actually. My father was kind of tough on me, but anyway, after all of this...
How long did you live in Iran?
I live until 30 years old.
30?
Yeah. So in age 16, I thought that, this world is not worth it actually to live. So I attempted to commit suicide. So it's a kind of very intense situation that
So you're
age 16.
You're 16.
Yeah,
you're already clear
thought that why I want to live, another
What's the point?
something like 60 years and suffering. So let me
go.
That is the day that I really experienced God in my life. So I cut the grass and I just cut.
You're reliving the moment. So you were working to cut grass, and then you on purpose you decided to cut
my vein, and the blood was coming all over. And then I was so determined actually to just die. So I got kind of so dizzy and shaking, and then I was going to just lay down and die peacefully. But then suddenly I saw in the corner of that room that face of God. I just see the image of God, like, this picture of Michelangelo on Vatican, kind of old man. So he appeared to me, and I saw a lot of angel actually around God. I feel that this is God. It's very hard to describe it. It's just myself. I personally experienced that. So God, even I feel that He's telling me, you are so young. Stop. Some kind of,
You felt that?
Yeah, feeling like that. Then suddenly I get a new energy and I stop the blood. It's a big cut. And then I stop it, and with bare feet, I just ran all the way to the hospital. And I said to the doctor, hey, doctor, I cut the main artery.
God.
Blood coming like, like crazy. I said, let me see. I said, okay, see. So blood was all over the doctor. I said, no, stop it. So anyway, it was so intense. And the reason I'm becoming more emotional, because I feel God, how much He loved me.
Mm.
And since then, I really believe that, God is God of love.
Mm.
So they put a new, added tube in my vein.
They fixed.
And they did it, so many stitches and blood was coming 3 times. They tied it. But actually, if you see, there are 3 cuts here. This cut was almost touching these ribs. If we would cut these ribs, my hand wouldn't move anymore. So that is one of the big experiences in my life, that God really loved me and stopped at this. So after that, I changed my mind. I said, this is not the way to get rid of yourself and go to spirit war. So I changed my mind. And then after that, I just studied. I get my degree, my high school degree. And then I went to university and I joined this movement, unification movement.
In Iran?
In Iran, 1976, 77.
What was that? What was your experience?
Oh, yeah. I was in military, 3 months to the end of my military. So I was sitting on the grass in a park, in Farah Park, maybe, and I was reading an English book. But actually, I was thinking about my destiny in the future, especially about my marriage and family, things like that. Then suddenly, my head just turned like this, without my will, actually. And I saw this Japanese missionary. He just bent over and said, "Do you speak English?" I jumped up and said, yes. But actually, my English was terrible. So he asked me some question, and finally he asked me, "How old are you?" I said, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, no. Anyway, he just ran, and he brought another members to translate for me. And he just said one sentence, and this brother just go on and on. I hate him. Anyway, I joined the movement very right time. And then next day, actually, the members of this movement came and talked about God. And I experienced God when I was 16, when I was in the, attempting to suicide.
Yeah.
So I feel that, God is truly God of this universe. God is God of love. So I love that principle of creation in divine principle that Father Moon, wrote about. And then I heard in the seminar about fall of man. And I said to myself many times, if there is God, God should be based on this principle. God created man for love, for joy, happiness. So I joined this movement, and then after that, revolution happened in 1976, 79, and 1980 ended. And it was terrible, bloodshed revolution in Iran that I saw my people are killing each other, and they want to change the government, and they did it. So one time I went with the revolutionary people to the prison. They want to release the prisoners. And that was the only time, actually, I got involved. I wanted to see what's happening. So suddenly I saw the gunshot, terrible gunshot. And I saw many people got bloody. And I hide myself behind the tree and say, "God, please save me. I'm sorry, I came this." So suddenly I saw somebody got shot in his head, bloody head, fell down on my shoulder. And I said, "Oh my God," the other side. And so I feel that, this is terrible. A nation fighting, my people fighting with the government, with each other, so many gurus. And then in 1982, I escaped from Iran. It was another big experience that I experienced God again. So I escaped with one brother, his Muslim brother, and one Jewish brother. We went through Ararat Mountain between Turkey and Iran. And 6.5 months, I survived without so much food. I was sick. I was
en route. So as you left Iran.
Yes.
And then 6.5 months with
not so much food,
resource.
Not warm clothes, actually. And it was war between Kurdish partisans and the government of Iran. And then I was lost. It was snow. It was cold. So each one of these, situation would cause me to die. Really. I mean, it was animals' voice all over. It was scary. But then I remember that, Father Moon, how he prayed to God. He said, I never asked God to help me, actually, because God knows about my situation. So I learned from Father Moon how I escaped from North Korea to Busan And also the Moses, how they escaped, from Egyptian, the Israelites, they escaped from Egypt to Canaan.
That was inspiring for you.
So yeah, it was really, and the best experience that I had, middle of the night, it was terrible, thunderstorm and snow. And that brother, the Jewish brother, he was a little bit old. So he told me, now, sir, I cannot walk anymore. So I asked the other Muslim brother, come here. And they stayed the other side of Jewish brother. So we carried Jewish brother, two of us, two Muslim brother, carry him to safety. So again, I look at the sky, it was cloudy and storm. And then again, I felt that face of God, that image of God. And God was kind of, nodding his head. And I feel that actually God really loved to see peace and unity and cooperation and helping Muslims and Jewish. And so this is another experience. So I experienced personally God in my life, even though I wasn't so religious. And I see that, peace start with me. I really believe that, I start to have peace within myself, so I can be able to bring peace to the world. That's why I get this mission, to become Universal Peace Federation Executive Director. And I'm working with my wife in Southern California. And I met so many wonderful people. You can see all of them here. Some of them, not all of them. I have so many good contacts. And that brings peace within me.
It's incredible.
Because I feel that I give some kind of peaceful way of life to these people through UPF. Bring them to, to Pasadena House, to our headquarters, and ask them to share with me. I learn a lot from them. And I feel so happy to have such a wonderful people as my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I feel like it's your camaraderie of peace.
So the reason, just make it, very short and ended up, the reason I become, emotional, anytime I think about God, and I believe that God is a suffering God throughout history. And that is actually Father Mons, talk about it, that God could not be happy to see his children throughout history are suffering, are killing each other, and they living like, worse than even animals. They're living as a homeless. I was doing homeless haircut for homeless people. And I talked to them and said, terrible, painful lifestyle they have. Most of them, they said, I didn't know who is my father, who is my mother.
That's right.
Been neglected. They are into drug and this and that. So I really feel that God is God of pain and suffering, and he loves his children. So that's the way, I become very serious to, just take this responsibility for UPF and just serve.
Thank you.
Whatever, I can do. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry again, I become a little emotional.
Thank you. Yeah,
But
thank
that's
you.
Can I say, I met a lot of people, being that I lived there for 35 in California, 35 years. Nasser is such a great representation for Universal Peace Federation. He lives it every day. And he's such a great example in the state of California, in the world, that he just gives himself and his beautiful wife that are such a great examples of this world.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, I want to give him an applause because
Yeah.
he deserves, he brought all of us together. And I want to acknowledge him in the global stage because he deserves it.
Thank you.
But
Thank
you
Paul.
promised me to take me with a jet.
Yes.
Take him on a
That's
trip.
Yes, it's now on video. So
All right.
Yeah, but when you hear
That's
this, it's such a. You can write books about it, and make movies about it, but to live this type of, to grow up in through war, how can you not want to look for peace? But what your story reminds me of also is how. Honestly, I feel like it's the same God that's speaking to us all at a certain point in our life And I think, some people are living a life that's bringing them into a closer relationship with that heart. And some might be veering off that path and taking a longer route.
Yeah.
But there's something that feels like home, sounds like home, is all embracing, is beyond, religious, economic, ethnic, even time zone. I mean, era. There's an eternal pulse that I think all human beings have definitely felt at some point. But it's interesting. It often takes a certain type of experience to recognize. And I'm sure it's not the first time you felt God, but when you're facing such tragic circumstances, it can well up and be very, very prominent. So I'm just remarking on that. But
Let me just finish just one more
Sure.
things. I came to America as a refugee,
Yeah.
as you mentioned. And, at the beginning, I thought that, America cannot welcome me, because America, Iran, they were fighting and, all of those bad name about America. So actually, I saw that, Americans, they welcome me and they want to put me under welfare. I said, what is welfare? So they want to give you free money that, you can learn. Your English is not so great. So after that, I said no to welfare. I said, I came to America to serve, not to be served. I rejected that. Also about UPF, I don't want to get any salary, and I just want to voluntarily serve. And I see the reflection of the people that praise me more than, what I deserve it. And I see, I see the happiness that I bring to people. And that's the best kind of happiness that I feel, that you help somebody, you make somebody happy. So that reflection of the happiness toward other people is the most joyful things in my life.
So you're glad you made it through.
Yes.
Well done. Thank you. I'm wondering, Mr. Satpal, your feeling. There's something in common each of these three brothers have, right?
Yes.
From a young age, seeing the most externalized form of conflict and evil. I mean, it's not peaceful. And so you can see how that's affected their life. You describe yourself as being very privileged, and yet you've still dedicated your life to spreading peace. So what's your response, or what's your feeling in hearing their story from their childhood?
Well, I agree with a lot what they said. It doesn't really matter, like if I said, well, or somebody comes from a privileged background. At the end of the day, there's so much to share. At the end of the day, you're gonna leave everything on this planet Earth. There's nothing that you can take with you. The only thing or only good thing that you take with you is your deeds, good and bad. If you did good deeds, people will remember you. Like you were just saying, well, what would people remember you? People will remember you if you touch their life, if you help them, if you, encourage them, if you made them successful, if you made them peaceful. The material things, we're going to leave it here. The other thing I would like to say is, like you brought up the subject of women, Our founder gave equal rights to women. I feel the role of the women in peace building is very crucial. If you think about it, who suffers the most? It's the women. When people go to wars, conflict, war zones, it's the women. She loses her husband, her son, her father, her brother, her loved ones. So so unless we bring the women in peace building, that's one of my roles as a Sikh ambassador, because we go in. The other thing I always say is, like, I was very emotionally touched with Nasser's story as well. My father-in-law said that, and I've lived that looking at other people. If you cannot see God in all, you cannot see God at all.
I got to say, when I hear a lot of the stuff you've been sharing, I get the feeling that there's a lot more people who are looking for peace, want peace, and are contributing to peace than we might be aware of.
Right.
And so how are we going to give peace a chance? It's so easy to get wrapped up into whether it's talking about war, conflict, politics or even divisions between ideologies or religions. But in fact, we're all listening to the same God. We're all looking for the same thing. And that's what's coming up for me. There's a lot more people working for peace than we might think. How can we more effectively come together to work together under a same banner to make it known? Because how do people find hope?
Right.
You know, you guys carved out a pathway to create hope in your lives and bring it to others because you could see the alternative was not going to take you anywhere. But how can we bring more hope to others? How can we work together to bring more hope to others and to bring more peace to people who don't even believe it's possible?
Well, one way is, that's my personal way, my personal story as well. When I met Nasser and when I came to know about UPF, I wholeheartedly supported and joined because I feel the FBOs, the faith-based organizations, there's about 500,000 of them around the world. I feel that they are critical. The religious leaders, the traditional leaders of traditions, spirituality, different ways, you know, these leaders are more important than political leaders, I feel. Political leaders are there only for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years as prime minister, president, senator, congressman. It's the spiritual leaders that can take the message of peace to their communities. So I feel that if we all attend, we all go to each other's, you know, meetings, interfaith, peace events, and interact with the world's faith-based organizations, we can attempt to bring peace in this world. The second, lastly, what I want to say is my personal story, which I share also, which I have not shared right now. Although I was influenced in business and then into spirituality and religion, but 6 years ago, I encountered a very terrible disease, lymphoma cancer.
Yeah.
I had 4th stage cancer, and I did not know if I would survive.
Wow.
I was bedridden for almost 6 months. I could not even get up. This is miracle what you're seeing. Like Nasser's story touched my heart.
Yeah.
Because the doctors that treated me, that I asked them, what is the chance that I'll survive? They said 50-50. And I went through a lot of ups and downs. Anyway, the long and short is I was 6 months bedridden, couldn't even get out of the bed to go to the bathroom. That's how bad it was. Then I transitioned into a wheelchair. Then I thought the wheelchair will be my best friend the rest of my life. Then I transitioned into a walker, then into a stick. And with God's grace, I am walking around. And so I promised to my God, to my guru, to my creator, that whatever second life you have given me, I will dedicate it towards peace and bringing harmony and in the world so that we can leave a lasting harmony and a harmonious society for our future generation, which is our children, not leave wars and conflicts. So that inspired me a lot also. And my disease or my illness gave me further inspiration. And like I shared with you, you know, me, you, everybody in this world, we're going to leave everything here, you know, so why not do good deeds? And I'm very inspired by my Sikh scripture. It says that if you can touch one heart, if you can win one heart, if I win your heart or your just one heart, I won the whole world.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel. Peace can start with us. And that's why I'm with you on this. Count me in for any of your ventures for the mission of peace with me, because this really deeply resonates with me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nasser, Ehsan, Mr. Rubio, Mr. Saptal, thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed it too. This is a new forum because you can hear from each other, but I really want to thank you for showing up.
Peace Starts With Me podcast is produced and directed by A. Curtis Farrow. Assistant producer, Koichi Nakai. Associate producers, Albin Gaval, Ron Lucas, Terry Gadsden, and William Lagrateria. Editor, Albin Gaval. Audio engineer, Oji Bahian. Media director, Robert W. Alexander of 360 Wise Media. And PR and branding by Irving Street Rep.